Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. How are you all doing? I hope you all had a fabulous week. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jackie, and I have the absolute privilege of telling the kids' story every Sunday. That I absolutely love to do. And so this week's story is actually going to be Genesis chapter 1. And it's actually a pretty interesting story. And fun fact, I'm actually talking about this story at school. So it's just all around a great time. So for those of you who don't know, in the beginning is where we're starting, the very beginning, right? And I don't know about you, but when I picture the very beginning, when God is creating everything, I kind of picture outer space, but with nothing in it, just kind of a big black thing, right? And so we started with nothing, and then God created the heavens and the earth. And it was a formless, empty, and dark place. But God decided to make something out of it. And so God said, "Let there be light." And then there was light. And God saw that the light was good, and the darkness, and called the light day and the darkness night. And so after that, there was evening, and then there was morning, and that was the first day, right? And so then after that, we go on to the second day. And on the second day, God decided that there should be separation between the sky and the water. So, God decided to create the sky and the water below it and the separation between the two, right? And he called this giant empty space above the water the sky, and then the water down below. And he saw that this was good, and they had evening and morning, and that was the second day. And then on the third day, God decided that there should be dry ground to separate the water. So he decided to create land, which I am very thankful for, because swimming in the ocean sounds very cool. But so he decided to create dry ground to separate large bodies of water. So the dry ground was called land, and the large bodies of water he decided to call seas and oceans. And God saw that this was good. And so they had evening and morning, and that was day 3. And then we move on to day 4. 4? Yes, 4. And so after that, God decided that we needed to know how to tell time and how to tell days. And so he decided to place stars in the sky so that we would be able to tell important dates, different times, and different seasons of the year. And so God decided to create 2 large light sources, one for daytime and one for nighttime. And the one for the daytime is obviously significantly brighter than the one for nighttime, but we still need to be able to see at night. So he decided to create the nighttime light as well, which is the moon. And he saw that and said that it was good. And that was the end of the 4th day. And on the 5th day, God decided that planet Earth is boring without living creatures, right? So he decided to create living creatures in the water and birds flying above. And so he created fish and little tiny microorganisms, that's the word I was looking for, that you can only see with a microscope, but then also gigantic ones like blue whales, which is, I believe, the largest mammal on the planet. He created birds, right? So robins, cardinals, eagles, hawks, crows, all of it. They were all created on the 5th day. And he saw that and he said that this was good. And so on the, I believe the 6th day, I think we're on day 6 now. This is a lot to keep track of. On the 6th day, God decided to create humans, right? And this is where the story gets really interesting. Because we as humans are created in God's image, right? So that means that we as humans are perfect in God's image, right? So everything that you don't like about yourself, like for me, I don't like my nose sometimes. And I used to not like that I wore glasses or that I had a little gap between my teeth. But all of that is perfect in God's eyes because we are created in God's image and God is perfect, right? So God decided to create the fish and the birds and the livestock and all the other animals that he decided to create. And so he created Adam. And Adam was actually created from dust, right? So if you take a pile of dirt and dust from outside, that's where Adam was created from. And I think that's pretty cool. He created humans out of a pile of dirt, which is pretty sweet. And so God saw this creation and saw that it was good. But the problem was Adam was kind of lonely. So God decided to create women, right? So you have man and you have women, and both created in God's image, and God blessed them. And he said to Adam and Eve, he said, be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it, rule over the fish of the sea and the birds in the sky, and over every living creature that moves on the ground. And after that, God said, I give you every single fruit-bearing plant. You have trees, vegetables, root plants, all of it to live off of. But there's one tree that you can't eat from. And so we kind of get into that in the next chapter, which is really, really exciting, actually. Back to what I was saying, though. So he gave them all of these trees and everything that they needed to survive. And that was the end of the 6th day. And then on the 7th day, God finished his work. He looked down at what he created and decided that it was perfect, right? There's nothing else that needs to be changed or added or taken away from this planet. And so God decided to rest. And that's where we get the Sabbath day, right? Excuse me, a day of rest. And God decided to make the Sabbath holy, right? So he rested from all of his creation, the creation week. Now, I know that's quite a lot to take in, but next week we will talk a little bit more about Adam and Eve and that exciting part of the story. So that is all that I have for you today. Thank you for listening.